We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to talk some Godzilla sequel, and we're going to discuss Rodan. Now, we already talked about Ghidorah a little bit, and we're going to get into Rodan now. So, this is the one kaiju I think is the easiest one out of the three to fit into the story. Many different directions they can go. Prehistoric dinosaur that survived and grew, forefather to pterodactyls and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it could be anything. Many different weapons he could bring. What I don't want to see is the Rodan that can shoot particle beams and shit like that. I'd rather have the traditional Rodan that is capable of making gale force winds and flying at supersonic speed. I think that in and of itself is enough. I don't think he needs to have that and then on top of that shoot fire or shoot beams or whatever it is he does later on. I think flying at top speed and flying and making winds that are extreme. I mean, imagine the kind of destruction this kaiju could cause underneath the grounded storytelling of Gareth and his team. He could cause some massive destruction, and he could do it quickly. You know, I mean, he could do it a lot faster than Godzilla trudging through a city. I mean, if he flies low to the ground and overhead of a major metropolis at supersonic speed, being that size, he's initially toppling over buildings. Then if he decides to land in the center of that same metropolis and start flapping his wings at a very high speed, I mean, the destruction is enormous. And I hope we see something like that. So I think he's going to fit in very well. And considering he's going to be an adversary of Godzilla, at least that's what we think right now, I think he's going to be quite a force. Because, I mean, how would Godzilla get next to him or get near him if he's blowing his wings? How could Godzilla even do anything to him if he's flying overhead, you know, outside of the atomic breath attack? So I think it's going to prove to be a quite a nice battle between these two. So in terms of how you would develop him into the story, again, I think an ancient dinosaur that mutated somehow. They could stay with the radiation story if they want. They could go a different direction. They can think of 101 things. You can make him part of that monster or ancient monster story lore where he existed around the time of Godzilla and the Muto, and what happened was he's the reason why like pterodactyls came to be and stuff like that, and he's like their forefather. You know, they're like like pterodactyls and other flying dinosaurs are descendants of what Rodan was back in the ancient time, and he could be another monster. And this could lead into, they could take the story in the direction where slowly but surely, because of the Muto and Godzilla, all these monsters are starting to awake now, becoming aware of each other. They have the communication like they did in Godzilla, where like they can communicate in a certain way, or there's certain when the two Muto were communicating with each other and Godzilla picked up that signal, like these other monsters can start waking up because they're picking up on these signals. So there's so many different ways they could bring them in that I think are much easier than King Ghidorah and Mothra. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think Rodan could prove to be a showstopper in this kind of movie. I think he's the kind of kaiju that in the world that Gareth and this team have developed could be very, very compelling for an audience. Like, wow, look at that. I mean, yeah, you have this big trudging Godzilla and all that, but damn, look at what this fucking flying bird is doing, or this pteranodon is doing. Like this toppling shit over like it's nothing. I mean, he could really display the kind of power that these monsters are capable of and the kind of destruction they're capable of. But the thing of it is, he can do it so fast. That's what I think is kind of scary about it. So I like the fact that Rodan's going to be in this. I like the fact that they're going to ground him. I definitely think they should avoid all projectiles like that he did in the Heisei series. I think that should be avoided 100%. Because then it would get to be too unrealistic. Godzilla shooting atomic breath is unrealistic as well, but because he's been doing it for so long, audiences can accept that. Rodan hasn't done it that much, and then when he has, the Heisei series I think is the only time he did it, and I know in the Showa series he didn't. So I think keep him without the projectiles and the particle beams, and keep that supersonic speed as well as the gale force winds from flapping his wings. And personally, I think that's more than enough. I think that's more than anything else to me would be overkill when you consider what kind of power, what kind of destruction he could do at his size. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Rodan. I think he's a monster they can bring in pretty easily. I think he can fit any storyline they want to go. And I think personally, you know, I know it's early to assume this, but or make speculation, but I think he has the potential to be probably the most interesting and most destructive monster of the group that's brought in. I mean, I know everybody automatically thinks Ghidorah, and that's probably really depends what they do with Ghidorah. But knowing that they don't really have to change Rodan very much outside of his look, I think he's probably gonna. Plus, he's confirmed, so you know, I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So anyway, guys, that's it. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to talk some Godzilla sequel, and we're going to discuss Rodan. Now, we already talked about Ghidorah a little bit, and we're going to get into Rodan now. So, this is the one kaiju I think is the easiest one out of the three to fit into the story. Many different directions they can go. Prehistoric dinosaur that survived and grew, forefather to pterodactyls and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it could be anything.